Hello everyone and welcome to the Transit Nomad family. In this video we'll be discussing Bucharest public transportation improvements, suggestions and tips. Before we get started, I'd like to let you know that as an active traveler and business owner with experience, I might be able to assist you with trip planning, life coaching and business consulting, with all the details available at buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad, always through the link in the video description below. This is where you can also find lots of exclusive content on many different cities around the world, my secret tips, PDF guides, and the option to request a custom video on any topic that matters to you. With that being said, let's begin discussing my Bucharest public transportation improvement suggestions. I've been staying in this city for a couple of weeks and I can tell you that their public transportation system could definitely use a lot of improvements. I see lots and lots of problems, and it's such a dramatic difference if you compare Bucharest with many other cities in Europe, whether it's Eastern Europe or Western Europe. I think Bucharest is really behind when it comes to a lot of different things, and the overall service quality when it comes to public transportation is definitely not very good, to say the least. One of the things that I'd like to point out right away is we are standing at the major tram stop, which is very impressive as far as the way it's designed and everything. It looks kind of cool, but it does have a lot of issues as all the other tram stops in the city. The one thing that stands out is that there is no information about tram schedules, estimated arrival times, any kind of digital sign that tells you when the next tram is going to come or where the tram is going to go. This information is very limited and it's very hard to figure out exactly where you're going or where you need to go, which tram you need to take, where you have to transfer, what the direction is. This stop is as good as it gets when it comes to the city stops, but for the most part, most stops, they do not have any information at all except for just the line number, and then it's up to you to figure out where that line goes or when it's going to come. And oftentimes the schedules are not followed, so you might be waiting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, even 30 minutes. That's pretty common here in Bucharest, and this applies to trams, trolley buses and buses. Their frequencies are not very good, and also it's very common to see 2 or 3 trams running on the same line, leaving almost at the same time, and then no trams to follow for 30 minutes or something like that. Part of the reason why this happens is their traffic problems. Bucharest is one of the worst cities in the world when it comes to traffic jams, and because of that, unfortunately, trams have to be stuck in traffic together with cars. There's no priority, there's no signal priority for trams or buses or any other public transportation vehicles. So they have to wait at traffic lights together with all the cars. Sometimes they have to wait longer because of the congestion, and this causes a lot of delays. And also I feel that the attitude, the management it feels like it's a little bit careless when it comes to punctuality and accountability, and they are not really trying very hard to follow schedules or provide good service. I might be wrong, but it just feels this way. I've been using public transportation very actively, basically almost all day, every day, and it feels like it's not a big deal. It just doesn't matter. Okay, people can wait 30 minutes, and then the bus is super overcrowded, like you can barely find any room to stand, not to mention finding a seat. And this is a very common scenario, and I don't see this being addressed in any way. So very limited information, and also not enough vehicles on lines. You can feel that the trams, the buses, they are not long enough. They need longer buses, they need more articulated bendy buses. It's a huge city with a lot of dense areas, with a lot of tall buildings and a lot of people living here. So they definitely need longer buses, but most buses are short. Most trolley buses are also short, 12 meters, not 18 meters, and the frequencies are terrible. When it should be every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes, it's every 15, 20, 25 or every 30 minutes, and those frequencies are not followed. Even if in theory it's every 20 minutes, in reality it might be 2 buses leaving almost at the same time, and then no bus for 30 or 40 minutes. This has happened to me multiple times, and these routes are popular. People need to use them, so the service quality is really just not very good. Also, the way that their system works for paying for public transportation is not very convenient, especially for tourists and visitors, but also for some residents, because there is only one credit card validating machine on each transit vehicle, and oftentimes it's not working, or it's working half of the time, and there's only one. So if that one doesn't work, there's no backup, and then if you ever get caught, you might have to pay a fine. This happens to me. I boarded a trolley bus and the machine is not working, and then the fare inspector showed up. Fortunately they let me go, because all the other passengers were trying to protect me, and I was standing right at that spot where the machine is trying to pay when they entered the bus. So they saw that I was trying to pay and it just wasn't working. The machine kept rebooting, but I got lucky. It doesn't mean that everybody else is going to get lucky, and this was still a stressful experience. Transit shouldn't be like that. So paying with your credit card is not possible. Paying with your smartphone, if you don't have a Romanian Google Play, which if you're not Romanian, chances are you're not, your location is not set to Romania. You don't have a Romanian phone number. So all those things, if you don't have that, it's very hard to pay for public transportation. You have to go to their ticket vending machines, and a lot of the machines, they're not working, they're broken, or you have to find booths where you can buy it in person from someone selling those tickets, and those booths, they are located randomly spread out throughout the city. You may or may not be able to see one easily. Also, their hours are not always convenient. If you need to take a tram early in the morning or late at night, it might be closed. Sometimes they have a lunch break. So I mean, it's really not very straightforward, even just to pay for public transportation. The cost is affordable. The cost is cheap. I think it's good. It's reasonable. It's basically almost the same as Sofia, Bulgaria. But Sofia, Bulgaria is so much ahead. Their trams are way cleaner and more punctual, and buses are also mostly new and punctual, and every single stop has a digital sign with estimated bus arrival times. They also have more detailed information, how to get there, how to get where you need to go, and paying for transit is very easy. There is a daily cap, so if you tap your credit card 2 or 3 times, you're not going to be charged anymore for the day. You can ride it 10 times but only pay for 2 or 3 times. In Bucharest, if you use your credit card, you're gonna be charged every single time, no matter how many times you use public transportation. So, oh man, they have so many problems. Their fare collecting system should be upgraded. It should be redesigned. The whole management, I think, should be upgraded. The view, the strategy, everything should be changed. Everything should be completely changed when it comes to management, when it comes to the way they think, the way they make decisions. I can tell a lot of the infrastructure was built with cars in mind first. They do have a lot of stops where it's very loud. Even this stop, I am recording my video here on purpose, and my mic is canceling most of the noise, but it's very loud here. A lot of cars passing by at high speeds. And they have stops that are also underground with cars going by even faster, which makes it even louder. And it seems like their infrastructure was designed mainly for drivers and cars and not as much for pedestrians, especially considering not just the location of stops, but also how long all the trams and buses have to wait at traffic lights. There is no signal priority, and the frequencies are terrible. The schedules are not accurate, or they are not followed. There is very little accountability. It's hard to pay for transit, and the service quality overall is really a disaster. I mean, maybe disaster is too strong of a word, but it's one of the worst that I've seen anywhere in the world. The only city that comes to mind that could compare to this city is Washington, D.C. They have a decent metro coverage system, but it's very expensive. But when it comes to their surface public transportation that's on the ground, it's really bad. The buses are unreliable, the frequencies are bad, it's dirty, it's not comfortable. So, and the frequencies are not good. That is a very big part of it. I mean, if you want people to use public transportation, you shouldn't make them wait for 20 or 30 minutes and then transfer to another bus and wait for 20 or 30 minutes, or maybe the bus doesn't show up and there's no tracking information, or it's not accurate and the bus is dirty and there are crazy people inside. All of these things, they make public transportation unattractive, and when people have a choice, they would choose driving or using any other way except for taking transit. And I feel that here the management of the city is encouraging people to do something else. Don't use public transportation. It's just working because it's barely working because I don't know if the city can survive without it. It's not a very wealthy city, so I guess I don't know if it's the funding or it's the management, because if you know what the reason is, I'm really curious to find out, because Sofia is relatively close by. It's not that far away, and it's kind of in a similar situation. It went through the communist era, influenced by Soviet Union, and that has caused a lot of problems, long-term problems that Bulgaria and Sofia are still facing today, and Romania and Bucharest are also facing the same problems, but somehow they were able to find a way to fix it in Sofia. It's so much better when it comes to public transportation. It's just like night and day. I don't know how else to describe it. And my suggestions, they might be accurate, but it's very difficult to implement because it is a huge city, so it's very difficult to fix it. I don't know if it's ever gonna get improved or fixed. Right now, I feel that as a transit lover, this city is not the most enjoyable experience, and I would recommend traveling to other cities if you wanna enjoy public transportation. I'm really curious to explore it no matter what. It's kind of an adventure for me, so I don't regret coming here, but definitely I'm shocked by the service quality and how everything is disorganized and the careless attitude, and it's just hard to believe that this can be happening still in 2025 in such a cool country, because Romania is a really beautiful country. There's a lot of beautiful architecture. They have free public toilets, they have free water fountains, and they have a large variety of historic buildings and many things to do and places to see. So I'm a little bit shocked. I hope that they can improve their public transportation over time. And with that being said, at the end of my trip, I'll be recording my final verdict video comparing Romania and Bucharest with other cities to help you decide if you should visit, while also saving you plenty of time and money with practical tips on how to get the most out of your trip. This will be an exclusive video, but you can easily gain access to it by subscribing or donating any amount on buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad, always through the link in the video description below. Thank you everyone for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. We're gonna go for a little ride. was actually one of the most scenic and coolest parts of the tram network that I was able to find in Bucharest. Very impressive bridge, kind of cool looking urban style architecture. And I did not mention the condition of the tracks. It's pretty bad. On this specific part, it was okay, but a lot of parts of the city, their tracks are terrible, so the trams have to go really, really slow to make sure they don't fall apart, basically. You can see how long it takes to wait for this light, and it's not just this intersection. Basically every intersection has a very long wait time. Another long intersection. Maybe we'll get lucky with the green light. Let's see. By the way, this specific tram line, number 10, out of all the tram lines, I think it's the most advanced one with the best service because the tracks are in a pretty good condition. You can see our speed is not bad, and the frequencies are actually not bad on this line. This line can be used as an example when it comes to frequencies and track condition. That should be used on other lines too. Hopefully, if they get the funding, they can use this line and make the other lines exactly the same as this one, because on this one the frequency is under 10 minutes, sometimes even every 5 minutes, and this is kind of like a circular route that goes around, circles around the city, and line number 10 goes in one direction, line number 1 goes in the opposite direction. They are both pretty frequent with good tracks, with good track condition, a variety of different vehicles. Some of them are newer, some of them are older, but generally speaking, if I were to live next to this line, I wouldn't complain as much as living next to some of the other lines where the frequencies are terrible and the tracks are so bad that the tram has to go really slow. But speaking of speed, you can see we are right now waiting at another intersection, and it's taken really long. It's not just like 30 seconds, not 1 minute. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 3 minutes.